Finally, it has become official. Klint Kubiak is the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. Yeah! Now, Klint Kubiak just came into town yesterday with his family, and today was his presser. He got to finally talk to the Raider Nation, to the organization, to the players. Everybody and their mamas was tuned in to hear what Klint Kubiak had to say. But this press conference was a little different than your usual press conference. One, it was only a head coach, because usually we have a head coach GM pairing at these press conferences. You look at 2024 with Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler. Then you look at the next year with AP and Tom Telesco. You look at last year with Pete Carroll and John Spivey. Now this year, it's just Klint Kubiak himself. But he wasn't the only one at the podium, because we also had some Raider legends up there as well. You had Charles Woodson, you had Howie Long, you had Jim Plunkett, you had Mike Haynes, you had Marcus Allen, heck, Rich Gannon. It just seemed like a different vibe today. And when Klint Kubiak got into the building, he got to shake a couple of hands, got to meet the organization. He also got to meet some of his players on the team right now. In the building, in the room, at the press conference, we had Ashton Jency, Brock Bowers, Isaiah Polymarket, Thomas Booker, Caleb Rogers, Jeremy Chan. Now, the player that I know a lot of Raider fans was wondering about today, if he was going to be in a press conference or not, was Maxx Crosby. And according to Vinny B and some other sources in the building, they confirmed that Maxx Crosby was actually in the building, but he wasn't in the press conference. Now, is that a big deal for a lot of people? I don't know. And I know that Maxx Crosby's future with this team is up in the air. There's been a lot of talk of Maxx Crosby ever since the Jay Glazer news. Maxx Crosby wants out of the building. Maxx Crosby told Tom Brady that he's not going to come back to the team. He's not going to play another down with this team. Maxx Crosby even came out and called all those jabronis out, saying that everybody's just speaking for him, this and that. It's been nothing but Maxx Crosby talk. Is he going to get traded? Is he going to stay with the Raiders? Well, Klint Kubiak made it clear that he would love to have Maxx Crosby a part of the future. Heck, he even had a cup of coffee with Maxx Crosby early in the morning, because, Maxx is always going to be the first one in the building, the last one out. But to hear that he got to chop it up with him one time and said that he wants him to be a part of this turnaround, be a part of this team. Not only that, just adding the fact that it's a no-brainer to want to work with Maxx Crosby. Come on now. That's what we all want to hear.
I got to drink a cup of coffee with Maxx this morning. Loved talking ball with him, and look forward to continuing those conversations. I think he was the first one in here this morning working out, so that fired me up.
How important is it for him to be, buy in with you immediately to kind of set the tone in the locker room?
Yeah, we want him to be a part of our success going forward. There's no doubt about that. And he's one of the best players in the NFL. So that's a no-brainer to get to work with Maxx and to see him continue to have success with this organization.
So as of today, at this moment in time, it seems as if the Raiders would love to keep Maxx Crosby in the building. You already know Mark Davis, he wants to keep Maxx Crosby in the building. Klint Kubiak wants to keep Maxx Crosby in the building. So it all comes down to what Maxx Crosby wants to do. I know he hasn't said that he wants to stay, that he doesn't want to get traded. He also didn't shoot down any rumors, but we all know that Maxx Crosby deep down would love to stay a Raider. But until we go into the season and he's not traded away, then we can all believe it. So that was some great news to hear. And shout out to Q Myers for getting that sound bit out of Klint Kubiak. That was something that we all wanted to hear, but I'll believe it when I see it. All right, quick timeout from today's video. I want to show you something that works much better than your traditional sports books. It's called Polymarket. Polymarket is the world's largest prediction market. You're trading on the outcome instead of just being locked into just one result. The app is really easy to use, and with so many games to choose from, you can pick your favorite one and trade in and trade out live in real time during the game. And that's one of the great things about Polymarket, is that you are always in control. Traditional sportsbook block cash outs during the games, but with Polymarket, you can cash out at any time. And when you compare the fees, it ain't even close. Sportsbooks charge $9 on a $100 win, while Polymarket only charges 10 cents on a $100 win. So the payouts are definitely much better. So if you want to get in on the action, make sure to click my link down below and use promo code Samoan to get exclusive access to the app, and also $10 to use free when you sign up. Try Polymarket today and see why everybody's switching over. Now let's talk about our future head coach, Klint Kubiak. Of course, I am really excited to have him up in the building. I know that this is the fourth head coach in 4 years, sixth head coach since moving to Las Vegas. It hasn't been a really good history, but one thing that I liked hearing from Klint Kubiak himself, when asked about, how he feels about that, he basically said that there's nothing else that he has to say but to go out there and prove it and earn that trust by not only the Raiders organization, but the Raider fans as well. And give the fans a reason to come and spend their hard-earned money to come to games and enjoy this. Because if they're not winning games, why would the Raider Nation want to show up at all? And I absolutely love hearing that from Klint Kubiak.
I think, earning the trust of the building is a daily process. All right, so that's something that I've always been about, and I love earning people's trust, and I got to earn these guys' trust. It's not just going to happen to me sitting up at a podium. So that's something that's a process. That's a process. And that's a great challenge. Yeah, there have been plenty of other coaches, but why not us? Why not this staff? Why not this group of players? So if you look at it in the lens of, there's a history of some, guys that are in and out of here pretty quick. I look at it as, what a great challenge. Like that's what the NFL is all about, is competing. So I'd love to go compete here and go get it done. It's going to be a process, and but we're gonna be about the work, like I said. So it's a very exciting opportunity.
And there's definitely going to be a lot of eyes on Klint Kubiak moving forward from this point on. Another thing that I liked hearing from this presser was the fact that he was asked on, why did he choose to come to the Las Vegas Raiders instead of staying to Seattle? What made it intriguing for you to come over here? And he simply said that this ain't no ordinary job, which it isn't. This is the Raiders. And when it came down to staying or coming to Las Vegas, it was a no-brainer for him.
This is no ordinary job. This is the silver and black. This is the Raiders. This is a historic franchise. So, when the opportunity came up to stay in Seattle and continue there, or to have a chance to come here and compete with this organization, it was a no-brainer.
I'm pretty sure with the amount of money that he's getting to come over here was also enticing as well. But, he got 5 years on his deal, and he's just got to go out there and earn his trust. And it starts with building that relationship with a lot of players on the team and thinking about the offense and how well he'd run this offense. I mean, we've got a lot of weapons here, and he was even asked about, of course, Ashton Jency. He talked about how excited he was just to work with Ashton Jency and seeing what he can do with Ashton moving forward. I mean, we just seen K9 win the Super Bowl MVP.
Very excited about his skill set and what he brings. I got a lot of tape to catch up on, dude, but I saw you play a lot of snaps at Boise. Very excited about his talent. But the thing I would tell him and all his teammates is that it's not just about one guy. We got to get the line on the same page. We got to get our quarterback to get the right run checks. We got to get our receivers to go block for him, all right, so that we can get the play action going. But as soon as our players can realize, that it's a team thing, it's not an individual thing, we're going to be successful. I know we have those type of guys in our building right now.
He was also asked about Brock Bowers, and of course, Brock Bowers is a big name and another big offensive weapon for him over here. But I was wondering how he thought about Fernando Mendoza, and of course, some questions came up about that. But I guess Klint Kubiak ain't trying to show all his cards. He kind of ran around that question, didn't really answer it. He just looked into the process and said that, having the number 1 overall pick is a big deal for this team, and they're going to do their due diligence and looking at all the candidates that they can for that number 1 pick. But hey, come on now. We all know it's going to be Fernando Mendoza. They just can't really say it until he officially becomes a pick. But that's what makes me even more excited, having Fernando Mendoza, a man of God, somebody that just won a natty with Klint Kubiak, somebody that just won the Super Bowl, another man of God over here in Las Vegas. It just gets me so excited. And I'm happy that he's our head coach. But of course, they still got to go out there and show it. Now, Kubiak has stated that he has a list of names that he's definitely looking at for offense coordinator and defensive coordinator. And we'll find out in the next coming days who they will be bringing into the building to interview. And it seems like Jim Schwartz could be a name to really look out for as a defensive coordinator, something that's huge for this team. And I know a lot of Raider fans would be excited about. All in all, I'm just really happy about this hiring. I'm happy to hear a lot of good things about Klint Kubiak. I know it's one thing to say a lot of these things and be excited about it and be hyped up about it, but we need him to go out there and prove it, which I like hearing that from him. And it's going to be a long process from now until the season actually starts in 2026. But Raider Nation, what are your thoughts on everything on Klint Kubiak's presser? Are you guys excited about this? What is one thing that you guys took away from this press conference that got you guys excited? Let me know down in the comments below. Until the next video, this your boy Samoan Raider, and your boy is Yow.